Coming up this week on Beyond the Vibe, we're joined by Joel Peters, hot off being announced as the new frontman of Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, and also known for fronting the Bootyard Bandits.
Totally unbelievable for me, really. Like you said, like being in a band with like the dude from bloody Motorhead, do you know what I mean? That's pretty humbling for me. It's just like, fucking hell. And like the rest of the boys in there, just such nice dudes. Just get on so well. I think I turned on, I think it follows me.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I did a festival in Belgium actually before that tour. I forgot I did that actually.
Right.
We said, like, oh, we've got this festival in Belgium, like 2-3 weeks. Here's the set. Learn it. I was like, cool. And we had like one rehearsal before we flew out.
Fucking hell. Oh my God.
And then here, I think it was like Orange Goblin were headlining and we were like main support for that festival. And it was just like, fucking hell, here we go, and go. Try and figure out a bit of front man in an hour, do you know what I mean?
On the Vibe, the show that cuts deep into the world of music.
My name is Aaron Day. I am lead guitarist in UK band These Wicked Widows.
You are.
And I'm here with music videographer and photographer. I have to remind him because he doesn't remind himself. It's Mr. Ryan Basie.
I know, I just remembered then.
I have to remind myself. I have to remind Mr. Basie as well. I'm the reminder. I'm the gentle reminder.
This sounds like a terrible superhero.
Oh, look, it's gentle reminder, man. Don't forget to put the milk out.
Yeah,
because you have to put the milk out. Don't put it in the fridge.
No.
Put it out. You know what I mean? Put it outside. Moving swiftly on from this poor little banter.
Getting trapped in milk chat.
How to get viewers hot and sweaty on this podcast. Milk chat.
Yeah.
Milk chat with Aaron and Ryan. I don't drink milk actually.
No?
I just don't really have it, to be honest. You know, I have it sometimes in cereal. Milk chat. But
I wonder.
This is going to be a segue.
If Phil Campbell has it.
Why would you ask that question? Right. Out of nowhere.
I know. Because we have their newly announced lead vocalist, don't we?
Exclusive first interview has been announced. Dare I say? Yes, we have Joel, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, and Bootyard Bandits.
Of course. So yes, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because on paper, you wouldn't think that the lead vocalist of Bootyard Bandits would be able to seamlessly carry himself into Phil Campbell.
Complete change of character. For those that aren't aware, Bootyard Bandits, they describe themselves as a mixture of Steel Panther and Blackstone Cherry. That should immediately make you imagine in your mind palace what that is, because I think it's a fantastic description. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons is obviously Phil Campbell and his sons, you know, and now obviously Joel. And he's a much more sort of a serious rock sort of, you know, band compared to the parody sort of style of Bootyard. So that is quite a different sort of vibe, and fair play to Joel for having the confidence. Obviously fair play to Mac from Bootyard who pushed him to do it. And I think just vocally straight away, you know, I've seen the video of him doing the cover of Born to Raise Hell, the Motorhead song. His voice seems to suit the style really, really well. Yes.
It was one of those things that sparked the conversation, didn't it, of obviously last week in our episode with the Fallen State, we chatted about the darkness thing of the parody band and where's the line.
Yes.
And it seems like Joel can kind of dip in and out of that.
But it's probably a nice release for him, to be honest, because I personally struggle as a musician just being in sort of, you know, a parody or that sort of type of band, because I think you've got great creative expression in that you can basically write what you want. You know, you live from a lyric side, you're having to be humorous as well as, you know, as interesting, and you're in a character at that point. But I think I'd need something else. I'd need the Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. I'd need something that I can put serious rock and roll sort of rock star mode in, as well as the fun sort of party mood. Bootyard Bandits, you know, I think for me personally, I'd struggle in between the two. I mean, like with that conversation we had with Meth from the Fallen State, it's I think it's easier if you're in Bootyard Bandits in some regard, because it's very obvious what they are and what they're doing. With the darkness and maybe Queen, you know,
it's
where
like
it's
a blurred line.
Yeah, it's more of a creative sort of, you know, it's a very kind of interesting line that they walk. You know, it's I'm trying to think, almost like eccentric. You know, and I love that. I think that's really different and kind of
bold.
Yeah, it's very ballsy. You know, and there's certain bands that can do it and certain bands that can't. And the Darkness have given themselves the room to do that. I know Justin describes it as a mix between Queen and AC/DC, and it feels like that, you know. Whereas Bootyard is very much like you say, sort of Steel Panther,
self-proclaimed kind of mashup of Steel Panther and Black Stone Cherry. But yes, you could feel. There's this kind of excitement with him about this.
Yeah, he's well up for it. About this great vibe.
Yeah, you know,
it seems like there's a good vibe between the band as well. Like when he dropped into Phil Campbell, because like you said, it's a completely different dynamic when you're hanging about with a family, pretty much. You know.
Yeah, it's in terms of a band in general. Like, you know, a band that is quite literally a family is very unusual. But they seem to have really took him in and. You know, immediately kind of welcomed him in. And of course, you can hear all about that now.
Fuck is going on?
Oh, that's amazing.
What is going on? Turn off. Is that better?
It's the way it does it. It keeps slowly moving in. It's like Wayne's World Extreme Close Up.
Yeah, I think I turn it on. I think it follows me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
fuck knows, mate, what's going on with this technology, like.
So we're here with Joel Peters of Bootyard Bandits, and obviously fresh from his tour with Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. Thanks for joining us, Joel.
Hello, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, very happy to have you, man.
So we like to kind of kick things off on the show by taking a look at the origins of a musician. So with that in mind, when was the first time you remember hearing music and thinking, like, this is what I want to do? Do you ever have like a moment?
Yeah, I guess. My family's kind of a little bit musical. And as a kid, I remember going to, like, my auntie and uncles used to have this big old party at their house over a weekend, and there's like blues bands playing and stuff like that. So that was sort of, I think, my first introduction to live music. And I think it's just kind of like second nature, just ingrained in that's what you do. And my old man's played guitar and kind of got me my first guitar when I was like maybe 5 or something, just a crappy like nylon string thing. And I didn't really touch it really. I was going to smash it back a bit and left it. And then, I don't know, maybe like 4-5 years later, I kind of like picked it up and started learning stuff from like tab books and stuff like that. And he'd teach me the basic chords. And then that was that really. And I sort of just messed around with some chords, not really listening to much music, just kind of like listening to whatever he'd have on or that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like the origins of it, really. Not really listening to music, but being around it, not really being aware of what I liked, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
But just like,
because normally I think naturally you start to get into music and then you start to tag yourself onto something, you know, like you'll have metal or rock, whereas to be around it, I imagine it's a different education, you know, which might be better, you know, as a musician, because you're not kind of, I think when you're into music, you kind of get lost in, I'm a metalhead, you know, I'm a rocker or whatever, you know, whereas if you enjoy it freely, I imagine it's a bit better. When did the singing start, Joel? What was that change?
Recently, within the last 5 years, I guess, ish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I kind of like sang BVs and stuff in bands, but never really thought of myself as, I'm a singer. It was sort of like, I'll play guitar and I'll sing a little bit, but that's not for me. That's sort of frontman business, you know what I mean? Kind of rock out on the sides or at the back. But yeah, it's been a learning curve.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. It seems like there's two different evolutions of vocalists. You either get you sang in the school choir, and you know you kind of naturally did it, or more in your case, it's the guitarist who ended up getting pushed into it, maybe, and it kind of just happened sort of by naturally. You know, obviously Bootyard formed in 2018. You know, from Bootyard sort of inception, were you immediately in that role as a vocalist? Had that already been at that point?
No, Paul. I'd always worked. For the last, I don't know, 10 years, I've worked in the music industry as like guitar technician or stage manager and that sort of stuff. And I used to work for Paul's old band, The Defiled. I used to drum the guitar tech for Lee, and always been around Paul. And Paul's like, if I'm going to start another band up, I want you in it, sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, cool, whatever, mate. people say that they were on a tour, let's do a band and it lasts for 5 minutes, and then and it was like, yeah, whatever, cool, yeah, I'll be in it. And he was like, cool, I've got these bunch of ideas. Do you want to be in? And I was like, yeah, cool. So he started working on them, and then one thing led to another, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll just play guitar in this band. It'd be fucking sick. And then I started singing on demos and stuff, and they were like, well, you're pretty good. Why don't we like see how this goes? And I was like, nah, I just want to play guitar. Let's get a singer in. And I was adamant about that until pretty far on the band's like inception sort of thing, and it's just like kind of like forced into it really. And I was like, oh shit, I'm a singer now. But, yeah.
I see it's difficult, innit? I think I like your enthusiasm that like, yeah, I'm going to play guitar in this band. It's going to be sick. Yeah, this is definitely what I'm going to do. I'm still doing this, aren't I? I'm still just playing guitar in this band, yeah. And now we look at kind of where you are now. You know, it's kind of spiraled a little bit out of control, you know. Obviously,
it has gone totally out of hand.
Completely out of hand now. I mean, you know, for me and Rye, we kind of look at you more, you know, as a frontman. You know, when, like you say, kind of for people that don't already know this, you know, your own story, to know that sort of 5 years ago that wasn't who you were. It's kind of, you know, it's amazing where you've come from there to where we are now. You know, in terms of Bootyard, obviously you guys are known really well in the scene. You know, was there a particular moment from when you guys formed to where you are now where you kind of felt that things were changing and it was growing into kind of the bigger beast that it is now?
Yeah, I didn't really think much was going to come of it, to be honest. It was like this stupid band that none of us take seriously. But I guess we just can't help writing half decent stuff. I'm kind of like writing this serious like riffs and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, and then Paul would stick some stupid bloody vocal over it and be like, yeah, I've got this idea, and I was like, really? And be like, all right, let's see if it works. And people seem to dig it, so it's kind of, it's cool, but I don't know, man. I was kind of like approaching it as like, this ain't going to go anywhere. It'd be a right laugh, but then people seem to like get along on board with it and see the funny side and the just don't take ourselves seriously sort of aspect of it. I think people kind of like that.
Yeah,
I think
they definitely do. I mean, you know, it's kind of that Spinal Tap, Steel Panther kind of vibe, isn't it? You know, I think people, because rock music in general has quite a serious vibe, it's nice to have something that releases you from that a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, we've had pretty good reception everywhere we've been doing stuff, and it's been really cool, really, just to see the kind of like the evolution of people actually like this. What is going on? It's not really. It's like we still don't understand how people like take this shit seriously. It's just like we just don't understand. mainly me and Martin. Paul's kind of like in it for the long haul. He's like, yeah, this is baby, basically.
Yeah, that comes across that it's very much sort of Paul's vision, and that you guys are kind of like, you know, very much sort of at the forefront of it, but maybe a bit more of the supporting cast, you know.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Paul's kind of like the main ideas man, especially for that first record we've just released. It's kind of like that's Paul's little baby, whereas he kind of like, I get messages on my phone of him like humming stuff down the phone, and I have to be like, what is that? You know what I mean? It's just like, cool, thanks for that. And then you just write something like that's vaguely in that sort of ring on his phone. It's just like, how's that? And he was like, oh, that's even better than I thought it could be. And I was like, well, I still think it's pretty shit. How about I put my little stamp on it, send that back, and he was just like, oh, yeah, actually, that's way better. So it's kind of like a lot of internet passing ideas around and working on and passing back, and which I guess a lot of bands have been doing over this COVID sort of nonsense. But we were doing it before it was cool.
yeah. This is more hipster sort of songwriting.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you know, going on to the more serious side of things, we can now discuss this. We can now discuss this.
Yeah, we can,
because this will be released after the announcement. You're now obviously a frontman for Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. You know, how does that feel in terms of that crossover? Because I mean, like you said, I mean, it's such a weird thing that sort of 5 or 6 years ago you weren't a frontman, and now that's kind of, you know, you're the frontman of sort of a serious rock band. You know.
Yeah, it's totally unbelievable for me, really. Like you said, like being in a band with like the dude from bloody Motorhead. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty humbling for me. It's just like, fucking hell. And like the rest of the boys in there, just such nice dudes. Just get on so well. And like you said, man, it's just like I'm still finding it weird saying I'm a singer.
Yeah.
What do you know? I play guitar. It's like, no, I'm a singer now. It's like, what? I just can't get the cogs working in my head that's what it is. But it's so cool, man. It's just so humbling. It's just little Joel growing up. Do you know what I mean? You just be like, oh, this is so cool. But
sorry, when like going back to kind of November when you did that audition, like was there, you know, a kind of like, oh, I'll just give this a go kind of thing, like considering that you're quite new to the vocal thing, or did you like go, I'm going for broke on this, you know, like I'm going to get this?
It was actually Mac, who plays banjo and guitar in Bootyard. He sent me a screenshot of some, I don't know who it was, Metal Hammer or something, posted about, oh, Phil Campbell, the Bastard Sons are looking for a new singer, blah, 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 blah. Screenshot, sent it off, be like, that'd be right up your street, dude. And I was thinking, yeah, that'd probably be cool. Kind of like shelved it for a bit.
Yeah. And
then he mentioned it to me again in another phone call, and I was like, have you done anything about it? I was like, no, not yet. He's like, you're going to do something about it? It's like, I don't know. So like you said, I was like, just being a frontman without a guitar to hold or nothing to hide behind. I was just like, I don't know, man. And he was kind of like, he gave me a little pep talk, and he was like, just do it. What have you got to lose? And I was like, you're right, man. So sent an email over with a bunch of stuff, like links to stuff I'd done, and they got back to me eventually and said, we like what you're doing, and here's some songs if you can record yourself singing them, sort of thing. So I sent those back. A couple of weeks passed, and I was thinking, oh, that's it then. And then they hit me back and be like, yeah, we all really like you. We'd like to come along and have a jam and blah, blah, blah else. And I was like, sweet. Like literally like not expecting anything to come from it. Turned up, met the boys, jammed a bunch of songs, just winged it basically. And it was kind of cool vibes. Everyone was cool. I kind of went back and they were like, yeah, we'll be in touch. I was like, cool. And it was kind of like that. I think we had maybe two or three maybe little jams and rehearsals. Like towards the end of it, they kind of like, went on Setlist FM or whatever it is. Got the current set list and went, right, I was going to learn that. Turn up to rehearsal, so like, let's just try it, see what happens. If it's going to be shit, it's going to be shit. If it's going to be cool, see what happens. And that kind of did that, and then one thing led to another, and they were like, cool, we want you to do this tour. And I was like, fucking hell, sweet.
Was there like a highlight for you from that first tour? It was all a bit of a whirlwind, really. I was still trying to find my feet, being a frontman. I did a festival in Belgium actually before that tour. I forgot I did that actually.
Right.
We said, oh, we've got this festival in Belgium, like 2-3 weeks. Here's the set. Learn it. I was like, cool. And we had like one rehearsal before we flew out.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
And then here, I think it was like Orange Goblin were headlining, and we were like main support for that festival. And it was just like, fucking hell, here we go, and go. Try and figure out being a front man in an hour. Do you know what I mean? It was weird. It was like, what do I do with my hands? It was just like, it was almost like an out-of-body experience, kind of like figure out what I'm supposed to be doing and when. And it was cool, really cool. But it was a bit uncomfortable for the first maybe 2 or 3 songs. I'm kind of thinking, okay, cool, right, you got a front man now, so you got to fucking do this properly and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, after about 3 songs, you kind of relax and you're like, this is cool. It's going well. The vibe's cool. Let's just fucking smash it, because that could have been my one and only chance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, how did
So
you
that
find...
all went well.
We always find that whenever we speak to, I know my own frontman with Hartwell, he's quite open about the fact that he uses the guitar as something to hide behind, you know, because it's and to lose that and for it to be kind of so quick, like you say, like a couple of rehearsals and then bang, you're on stage. Did you kind of, because it's such a different role as well, Joel, from what you do with Bootyard, but in so many ways, you know, because obviously Bootyard, it's a bit sort of tongue in cheek, it's a bit more sort of pie, whereas with Phil and the boys, it's more kind of, you know, serious sort of rock machine. Did you take an inspiration from frontmen you like before you went out there? Was it literally like, right, I'm here now, like I'm just going to see what comes out, and then as the tour goes on, did you kind of fall into that role?
Yeah, I guess before the tour, I was kind of like looking on YouTube, going, right, who's a cool frontman? Who do I like?
Yeah.
Watch them. Oh, he plays guitar. Scrap that. Oh, so does he. Scrap that off. And it's like, right, Freddie. No way. I'm not nothing on Freddie. Next. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I've literally found nothing that was like transferable. So I just thought, just go out. You'll figure something out. Do you know what I mean? Something's got to fit. I hope.
Well, it seems like all the online and stuff, like the feedback seems to be fucking great, man. And obviously the boys felt that there was a vibe in the band, because obviously they've now asked you to join permanently. So I reckon it was nothing good but good vibes, you know.
No, it was really cool, really cool. All stellar dudes. Like, it's weird touring with a family outfit.
Well, yeah,
because the dynamic's slightly different to what I'm used to. There's like it's a lot less party, let's put it that way.
Well,
which suits me down to the ground these days, to be honest.
Well, you got Dad there, haven't you? So it's kind
exactly.
of it's a vibe.
No, it's cool, man. It's just different vibes. I guess I really, really enjoyed the vibe on like the bus and the whole tour. It was a change to what I'm used to, but it fits me down to a T, man. I was just like, I'm not up for staying up partying all night, and I've been there, done that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it.
Done the complete shit show of a gig the next day.
You've earned it as well, man. Do you know what I mean? You know, we chat a lot to different people on the vibe about paying your dues, you know, and you sounds like you've done that, you know, on and behind the stage. You know, now you've kind of earned the tour bus life. You know, you can chill and put your feet up, watch a bit of Emmerdale. You know. Yeah,
it's EastEnders, mate. Not Emmerdale, rotten rubbish.
I didn't mean to insult you like that.
Yeah. Sorry, it's all right. I'll let you off.
Kind of one of the things that we like to do is look at, we've kind of touched on it a little bit in terms of your origin story, what people do away from the stage, or in your case, sort of behind the stage. So do you still do that away from both bands?
Yeah, I'm still working in the industry when it's feasible to. Bloody COVID. But yeah, I mean, I had to I was a postman for a big chunk of last year, just because I'd run out of grant money, I'd run out of savings. I was like, nothing's going to get back to normal anytime soon. Let's get a job. And at least being a postman, I could walk around, and it's kind of your own boss, because you're like out by yourself, stick some headphones on. This is a podcast, this is songs. It's cool, man, but it wasn't for me in the end. It was just mind-numbing. At the end of the day, you run out of all the playlists and stuff you want to listen to. You run out of podcasts, and it's just like, the same monotonous every day, which is not what I'm used to. I haven't done something like that for years. But needs must, man. Needs must. You got to support the family and that, haven't you? So
no, that's it. Respect that, man. You know, I mean, me and Rye are quite passionate about the fact that I think it's hard when you're a musician, a creative person, because you want your job to be a reflection of who you are. And you know, being a guitar tech, you know, I think that's a massive rebellion against sort of being in an office, you know, or being a postman. Like you say, it's not too bad being a postman, but once you're used to that tour life and being around other people that are on the same wave, I imagine it's quite a difficult thing to adjust to. Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do. I'm kind of lucky. I feel kind of blessed over the last 10 years or so doing something that I don't really see as work.
No, it's really cool.
Which everyone hates me for. Like, especially my missus hates me. She's like, how come you get to go to work and you actually enjoy it and you're happy about it? It's just like...
Because you guitar tech for Hailstorm as well, aren't you? Which obviously Bootyard just went out for. So was you gigging and then guitar teching, or was you off for the tour?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
That was brutal.
I bet that was hard crap.
Fucking brutal. We'd done it once before, around a bunch of like Scandinavia and stuff a few years ago. when we opened up for him. I was working, and after that tour, I said, I'm never doing this again. And then obviously completely forgot how much of a ball ache it was and said, yeah, that'd be cool. And then like day 2, I was like, what am I doing again? It was killer, mate. Absolutely killer.
But
I literally didn't leave the stage until literally like 10 minutes before we were due to come on stage, and then 20 minutes after, get changed, have a wash in the sink, put your crew clothes back on, and then get back to work. It's just like, I was eating all my meals on that stage, getting Martin from Bootyard to go like ring him up every day, put my food order in and be like, mate, I'm about to die, go and get me something please. And he was an absolute diamond every day, bringing me food. And
bless you.
But yeah, that was a killer tour, man. Absolutely killer.
You're fucking double shifting. I mean, like
I know.
Like we know Mark because obviously he's temped for us when we played Hard Rock Hell, and he's fucking awesome dude. And he was moaning about being tired. You're fucking double shifting, man. Bollocks.
Oh mate, he was walking about every day moaning. Oh fucking hell, well tired. Rock up at the venue like 3 in the afternoon. He's like, you all right, Mark? Oh yeah, just got up. It's like, fuck me, I've been up hours, mate, lugging staging around.
Disgrace, man. Disgrace. Well, respect to you. Respect to you for the graft.
Now, we like to kind of throw some weird questions at artists. So, hypothetically, you've got a gun to your head and you've been told that you're going to make an album, but you have to do a different genre from what you've done before. What would that genre be?
Pop.
Pop. So this is with Bootyard. We're saying this with Bootyard.
Well, it could be... I mean, it could be like a weird supergroup between the two.
Yeah,
there's options.
I mean, which band would you want to take and potentially piss off the majority of the members by making a pop album? Which would give you more joy?
Probably Phil, because a lot of people in Bootyard, they just love everything. Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of good pop stuff out there at the minute, and it's just like, I think Phil, being the old school band that they are, the bastards, I think that would piss them right off. I'll be well up for that.
Especially because you've just come in as well. And it's like,
yeah. Right, we're having a new direction, boys.
Yeah. All right, everyone sit down, Phil, sit down. All right, I don't want any jip. All right, I've got the recordings on my phone. It's going to be stellar.
Yeah, just Adele, an album inspired by Adele. He does not like Adele. Phil does not like Adele, trust me.
Does he not? Oh.
No, I think he told me about it 7 times on that tour, different occasions. Fucking hate her. Which is quite funny.
Because you kept playing Adele.
I know.
Right, well, we expect it for 2022 then. We expect the Phil Campbell and the Bastards.
Cool. I'll have to keep it quiet for a bit and then just slip it out.
Yeah. Adele cover album.
Just keep slowly playing Adele quietly, and it will slowly seep into his subconscious for the rest of the band. And then maybe towards the end next year, probably start to write the material. We'll see. I'm excited. Yeah. Don't know about you. One question we like to ask artists as well, Joe. I mean, it's quite a cool time to ask this question with you, because obviously you've got the kind of cool personal thing with joining Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. You know, where do you see yourself personally in 10 years' time? Do you have any personal goals? You know, would you like to be a musician full time, or do you like that balance of being able to go on the road with different bands and do your day job?
It is going on the road with other bands and working for other bands is great, but you do sit there sometimes, you think, I want to be doing that.
Yeah, especially because you've done it as well, you know. Yeah, but I quite like building a stage and then looking at it, taking a step back and going, I did that. That's cool. I kind of like to finish a thing and be like, right, look at that and go, that's cool. I was like, I've accomplished that. Do you know what I mean? That's cool. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's nothing like being on a stage, is there? Performing.
No.
Which I guess is why every other musician wants to be on stage and take shitty jobs to be able to do that. Do you know what I mean? But I guess.
Well, sorry. So what's it like, kind of when you're gigging, in terms of like, say if you was doing it full time, would you be your own guitar tech, or have you got somebody in mind that'd be? Because obviously, like, you know, because I imagine for a guitar tech, you do all your work yourself. You know, you naturally, just because you're saving money, aren't you? You know, or do you have someone in mind that would be good enough for the role?
Yeah, I have one dude that I went to school with that I kind of like. He covers me on stuff, but he's the only dude I think that I would trust. with just handing me a guitar and going, there you go, and I'll go on stage. Yeah. I've got real trust issues with that because
it's your baby.
Obviously, it's what I do. Yeah. It's sort of like, even if someone offers to do it on tours and stuff, it's just like, nah, you're all right, mate. I've got me. Don't you worry. It's
you sit down. I got it.
Yeah. It's just like, but you're paying me to do something. Nah, it's all right. Go have a coffee. I'll do this. Yeah, I've got kind of like, I can't let go. It's weird.
I don't blame you, man. They're important things. I struggle because I've obviously in lockdown, naturally, as most guitarists have, I've started to fiddle with stuff and change pickups and that. And the more that you do, I think the more attached you get because the more you trust your own sort of judgment, your own ability as well. You know, especially someone like yourself that does it full time. Obviously, being in two different bands that have quite sort of, you know, different genres, you know, it's cool. You know, but obviously I imagine it takes a lot out of you. Do you see yourself naturally falling into different projects, or are you happy with the current balance that you've got between Bootyard and Phil Campbell? You know, would you ever want to do a solo thing, for example? Do you have that burning desire at all? No,
not particularly. I like feeding off other people for stuff.
Yeah.
I toyed with the idea of doing some solo stuff years ago, and I just never had not the word is, it's just, I find it's a struggle to just come up with everything yourself and like back yourself 100% on stuff rather than like bouncing ideas off.
Yeah.
So kind of like a vibe off rather than going, yeah, we've got this whole thing, there you go, that's all me. I kind of like, you kind of can get a bit stale, I think, if you're not bouncing ideas off or feedback on other people, I find. But
yeah, no,
it works for some people.
No, that's it, and I think I think you've pointed out why it's, when people are doing solo stuff and it works so well. You know, I commend them because I'm the same. I can write a whole song, but I need to bounce it off somebody because otherwise you've only got your own thing. And I think you naturally get more attached, don't you, to stuff you've written. For folks that want to come and see you live, you know, whether it be with Bootyard or Phil Campbell, the Bastard Sons, have you got any gigs coming up? People can check out.
What have we got coming up? We've got a bunch of stuff in the summer. We've got like Call of the Wild, Heretic Fest. We got the K with the Bootyard, Bandits. We're booking up a bunch of other stuff. Awesome. Phil's pretty busy over the summer.
All right.
So, a bunch of stuff. I literally had the schedule today and I was just like, oh, shit. But yeah, busy. So we're going to be everywhere, basically.
Amazing. Right. Well, we're playing Call of the Wild and we're playing Heretic Fest, so we'd love
wicked, man.
We'd love to catch you, man. Yeah.
We'll see you there. Definitely have a beer.
Yeah, 100%, brother.
Now, one thing that we'd like to kind of finish on, it's another hypothetical one. If you could tour with one band from the past and one band from the present, who would they be?
Ooh.
Everybody struggles with this question.
It's tough, man. Maybe Queen from the past. As in, like,
is there a specific era of Queen that you'd go with? Because you can choose.
Just a Freddie era. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This new incarnation of Queen in my book isn't Queen.
No, I agree.
But yeah, Queen from the past, probably Queen. Probably Queen. A lot of people are still going now, though, aren't they? Like oldies.
Well,
just about.
I mean, it depends, because if you pick Guns N' Roses, some people pick them from like peak 1980, which would be
that's true.
Older band.
That's true.
Some people pick the newer Guns N' Roses, you know, because they just want to have that kind of, you know, spread.
Set list.
Yeah, set list. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, man. Yeah. Maybe Queen or Michael Jackson, probably from back in the day for me.
Good choice. And what about a newer band, more modern choice? Good gig.
I really digging Don Broco. I have for the past how many years.
Oh, cool, man. Good choice.
Probably they're not very metal, but
no, it's a good choice. It's a bit out there.
Or Don Broco, however you bloody say their name.
God, I haven't heard Don Broco. Tomato. I haven't heard Don Broco chucked around in years, to be fair. I think that's a cool shout. So we've got Bootyard, Bandits. We'll put Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. We'll make it a 4-band lineup.
Yeah, we got to.
Yeah, we got to do it. It's respectful. Bootyard Bandits, Phil Campbell, Bastard Sons, Don Broco, and then Queen back in the heyday. It's a solid lineup.
Yeah. No guitar tech.
Guitar tech. No. Yeah, we'll let you off that night. Yeah. We'll let you off. If you're playing.
Well, save some money anyway. That way.
Joel, thanks ever so much for your time, man. Like we say, we're really pleased that you've been announced with Phil, and I bet you can't wait to go out and play some of them shows. You've got a busy summer, and we hope to see you out on the road, man. You know, well deserved.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, boys. Pleasure.
It's been cool, man.
See you in a bit.
So that was Joel of Phil Campbell, the Bastard Sons, and Bootyard Bandits. Enjoyed that one, right? It was interesting, man. I think obviously learning about his story, we were both quite surprised that he's not really a front man.
What? He's 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, I reckon he's taking the piss, 5 years, he's the time he's become a front man, because he comes across to me very much, even though he's obviously plays guitar in Bootyard, obviously with Phil Campbell, to get the gig in quite a big band on the scene in Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, and not be a front man, I think is really interesting. My favourite thing that we went over in the interview, right, was him talking about that first gig and the festival in Belgium, because obviously, like, you've never played a gig, but obviously you've had things you've been nervous for, screenings or whatever it is, before you go on stage, particularly if you've never done it before, the anticipation, and then for him not to go on and never have performed a gig really without a guitar in his hand.
There's like a huge amount of firsts going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, like and I'd love to see the footage for it. I might try and have a look. See if
it would be really interesting, because currently he comes out where he's just holding his mic, so he didn't, if he did that in that first gig as well, he has nothing to hide behind. He can't even use a stand, so he's gone from having a guitar, having all the stand and everything in front of him, to nothing, and performing in front of what I would presume is a fair sized crowd as well.
I bet he was fucking shitting his pants. He comes across as a ballsy bloke, but I bet I'd be cacking my pants.
I'd be gone. I'd do the just need to get something from my car. And you just hear the screech.
Yeah,
gone.
What do you know if you was a vocalist, or if you suddenly, say if you woke up tomorrow morning, you were like, Allah,
as you do.
Really wish I'd not given the examples, but Ryan will keep it in because it was embarrassing for him.
Of course.
Imagine you woke up tomorrow and you had a beautiful voice, right? And you thought, do you know what, I'm gonna go out and find myself a band, right? What sort of vocalist do you reckon you'd be? Like, you was chatting then about the microphone, like, obviously, like, Freddie, half-cut mic, like you say with Joel, he's got just a single microphone, the vintage thing, Bruce used to have a massive long one with legs on the end, like, what would you like?
Character-wise?
Yeah, would you have it on the stand? Like, I am focusing quite a lot on the stand, but, like, in terms of your whole character.
I know what you mean. I'd probably go down the Poundland version of Robert Plant. I'd be doing, the classic hand tilt, all that kind of goodness. I don't know. I like a vocalist that has a thing that they do, or they've got a thing. And it was interesting, having seen that footage, he definitely has a thing.
Yeah, and he's done well to find his thing pretty
like
quickly.
In 5 years. I mean, he's got the beard thing going on. He's got that kind of biker vibe, which really fits in really
both
well.
Bands.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect fit. But yeah, vocally, I mean, if you haven't heard him yet, or if you haven't gone to go and see them yet, I would definitely encourage you to, because he's a perfect fit for the band, I would say.
I agree completely. Now, if you was going to encourage people to continue to watch Beyond the Vibe podcast, Ryan, how would you do that?
Well, I would go round to their house and scream at them. No, of course not.
If I got sacked by Sky Plus.
Yeah.
That's a day.
No, of course, you can like and subscribe, of course. And if you want to find out what guest we have, of course, we have different guests every week. You can go on our Facebook page or our Instagram, and we release a teaser trailer every Wednesday from 10 a.m. And of course, the episode itself comes out on a Saturday from 10 a.m. And if that isn't enough,
oh bloody hell!
I know. If that isn't enough, we also do things like extra vibes. Recently, we did like our own kind of awards ceremony.
Oh, that was a massive highlight for me.
It was really cool, where we kind of discussed on camera. Well, we discussed and decided on camera who we were going to pick for the likes of Best Album of the Year, Best Solo Artist, and so on. We also did things like our top 10 albums of the year with Lee Graham.
Shout out Mr. Graham.
Yeah.
Big fan of the show.
And of course, we also do things like Beyond the Gear. That's where we go out and meet lots of different guitarists and artists and talk about their gear.
We do indeed, yes. So you've got a fine selection of different things. To
so many choices.
So if you're enjoying what we do, make sure you click the bell, then you'll never miss an episode. If you subscribe, it lets me and Ryan know that what we're doing, you're enjoying. Remember to like as well. And hopefully, we will see you
next week.